We have a massive Oilers update when it comes to a potential extension on the blue line. All that and more today on Oilers Digest, as we also preview tonight's matchup against the Anaheim Ducks in a rematch from Sunday afternoon when the Oilers let that one get away from them in the second period. But hopefully things change tonight. But what should also change is the subscriber bar. We should make that 81% a lot lower, folks. And if you're part of the 19% that have subscribed to the channel, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel. But without further ado, on to the exciting news of the day. Extending the blue line, or hopefully extending the blue line. Elliot Friedman on the 32 Thoughts, the podcast, had this news bit about the extension of Ty Emberson. He said, after what happened last summer to the Edmonton Oilers, they're not going to be taking any chances. So I would not be surprised to see the Oilers and Emberson engage and work on trying to get something done not long after the 1st of January. We'll see if it happens, but that's one I'm going to be looking for. And of course, Ty Emberson was interviewed by everyone's favorite Edmonton sports writer Mark Spector earlier this week, and he had this to say about an extension with him and his agent. He said, "My agent mentioned something to me about that a couple days ago. If it happens to work out, I'd be excited. I love it here, and hopefully can spend some more time here." So that's exciting to see from a younger defenseman. I know, being a defenseman in Edmonton, it's not exactly the easiest thing to do with the fan base in the media, breathing down your neck at every possible waking moment. But Emberson, in the half season he's been with the Oilers so far, he's been very reliable on that third pairing, especially on the PK. We'll get to that later. But Emberson's contract status currently sees him as a pending Group 6 unrestricted free agent, but can remain an RFA or a restricted free agent by playing in 15 more games, which gives the Oilers a little bit more leverage contract-wise. But of course, like we saw with Holloway in Broberg, that doesn't always mean the Oilers have the upper hand here, because there's always the possibility of an offer sheet. But barring something unforeseen, that number should be reached with ease. And when you're asking, what's a Group 6 UFA, you can become a UFA, age of expired. Players must be 25 years or older when their existing contract ends, and the age is calculated on June 30th of the expiring contract. Maximum career NHL games played. To be Group 6 UFA eligible, a player must have played less than 80 career NHL games. For goalies, this is 28 games with more than 30 minutes of ice time in 3+ professional seasons, so on and so forth. So Ty Emberson, he just needs 15 games to reach the RFA status, and again, he should reach that with ease. And when it comes to the analytics side of Ty Emberson, of course he's not the most flashy player out there, but defense wise on the PK, again, very reliable, very steady, especially in the late game situations like we saw against the Utah Hockey Club when he won multiple puck battles and got that cross ice pass to Leon Draisaitl, sealing the win for the Oilers. And he should only be getting better. Of course, last year on that middling San Jose Sharks team, he was, statistically one of their best defensemen. So it's kind of a culture shock to come from a team like that to the Edmonton Oilers, a cup contender like we saw in yesterday's video. You can see there, Ty Emberson, again, out of all of the full-timer Oilers defensemen, lowest offensive zone starts, so they sort of trust him more in the neutral zone to the defensive zone starts. You can see there 83 neutral zone starts and 56 defensive zone starts. And with the PK deployment, you can see there he's been a big reason why the Oilers PK has been much better since the start of the season there. Of course, he only got a minute 16 time on ice on the PK per game, compared to guys like Darnell Nurse getting 2 minutes. And then Kris Knoblauch made that switch, put Ekholm and Emberson together, and that PK has been tremendous. And Mattias Ekholm had some words to say about Ty Emberson. He said the first 20 to 25 games, he's kind of finding his way, looking, where do I slot in? Where do I fit? How am I supposed to play to help this team? Now you see where he excels within his game. Your first 100 games have got to be the hardest ones. Sometimes you're just out there trying to not make a mistake. You're just trying to stay in the lineup, get some traction, maybe get 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row. Then your skill in your risk-taking can take over. Of course, Ty Emberson was originally placed with Darnell Nurse to start the season, and the Oilers did not get off to the hottest of starts. So Knoblauch and the rest of the coaching staff tried to shuffle things around, and Emberson found his way onto the third pairing alongside Brett Kulak there, which, has been, again, very, very helpful towards his development. And, Emberson saying, if someone says, hey, I didn't notice Emberson that much tonight, it's probably a good thing. If I was quiet, if I was making the good passes and I didn't get beat anywhere and didn't turn the puck over, sometimes it's good to get noticed. Other times it's good not to get noticed, True words have never been spoken. Some of the best Oiler defensemen, they've been, very quiet throughout their careers. Guys like Lee Fogelin on the blue line back in the 80s, Kevin Lowe going into, the 2000s, guys like Jason Smith, Gator on the blue line. Again, not the flashiest of the players, but they were very, very effective. So hopefully we can see, Ty Emberson get, a 3-year deal somewhere under $2 million. That would be an absolute steal for Stan Bowman. But Duck Hunt, yes, the Anaheim Ducks are in town tonight to take on the Edmonton Oilers at Rogers Place. The Anaheim Ducks coming off of a 3-2 win last night against the Winnipeg Jets, and a very big comeback win for this team. And they come into this game winners of 3 straight, the first win of that win streak being against the Edmonton Oilers on Sunday. So, old foes rekindling once again. They're 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain on Sportsnet for the Ducks. And we can just take a look at the Ducks lineup. Shouldn't be too much different from what we saw on Sunday afternoon. Frank Vatrano, Ryan Strome, former Oiler Ryan Strome, might I add you, who did get that game-winning goal against the Oilers on Sunday with Troy Terry. Cutter Gauthier, Mason McTavish, and Ravi Fabry, Alex Killorn, Leo Carlson, Brett Leeson, and Ross Johnston, Isaac Lindstrom, and Jansen Harkins on the back end. They're very, balanced, young and old on that Anaheim blue line. Jackson Lacombe, Radko Gudas, their captain, Pavel Minchikov, Drew Ellison, Brian Dumoulin, and Jacob Trouba. And getting the start tonight for the Anaheim Ducks, who did start against the Edmonton Oilers on Sunday afternoon, Lucas Dostal, who, in the past 10 games the Anaheim Ducks have played the Oilers. Dostal, the only goalie to get a win against the Edmonton, and he got 2 in that span with goals against average of 2.72 and a save percentage of .914. Looking ahead to the Oilers lineup tonight, which will include Ty Emberson on that third pairing, virtually untouched from what we saw in practice yesterday and from the second and third periods against the Utah Hockey Club. Of course, top 6 remaining untouched: Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, Connor Brown, Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, and Victor Arvidsson. And then a very interesting bottom 6, Hyman, Janmark, and Kapanen. Of course, many are viewing the Hyman, third line appearance as a demotion. I think of it as him trying to drive his own line and sort of, create a spark in the bottom 6, and hopefully that fourth line will have some sort of spark with Skinner, Henrique, and Perry. Not a whole lot of speed between either 3 of those, so it'll have to be their smarts taking over the speed. And then Ekholm and Bouchard, Darnell Nurse and Troy Stetcher, and finally here, Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson. Should be an exciting one tonight. The first half of a back-to-back for the Oilers tonight as they take on the Ducks tonight. And then they head to Seattle to Climate Pledge Arena tomorrow night as the second game of the Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader at 8 o'clock Mountain. That is it for today's video. Let me know what you think about the comments about, potential Ty Emberson extension. How much would you like to see him make? And have you been impressed with his play so far lately? Make sure to subscribe here to Oilers Digest, Oilers Digest, for any and all Oiler news. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of the day and enjoy the game tonight. Let's go Oilers.